To build Necros Prime, for his chassis you will need 3 Morphics, 6,000 Rubido, 18,000 Ferrite and 2 Argon Crystals. For his systems, you will basically need 3 of those Telluriums, 500 Plastids, 15,000 Salvage and 3 Control Modules. His Neuroptics aren't as bad as Vauban Prime was. This entire thing only uses 5 Nitin extracts with 3 neural sensors. 3 neural sensors is a lot, with 12,000 polymer bundles and 15,000 alloy plates. That is by far quite the... It's just... I didn't expect him to cost that much. Usually, I mean, the normal Necros chassis costs 1,000 Ferrite. His new chassis costs 18,000. Comparing him to old Necros, well, I formatted mine twice and have 0 extra polarities on him because I formatted him pre-changes to the whole ability system. So, goodbye old Necros, hello new Necros. That just kind of left me pretty speechless. The difference visually between the two, he looks so much better. And you'll notice most of the dangly things on the back here were an optional extra for Necros that comes built into Necros Prime. They're kind of here. Looks like he's got wings. Weird that. I wonder if there was another frame recently that came out that also has wings. Should probably mention, not actually wings. Does come with the 3 normal polarities. You've got a D, a V, a dash, and for some reason an unformatted aura slot, so you can put in anything. The problem is, because it doesn't have a polarity to it, you will not gain the usual points. Like if there was a V there, you'll throw steel charge in and get 19 points. Nope, 8. Those unfamiliar with his abilities, his first one, Soul Punch, will basically just make enemies go flying, as you can see. It does deal small amounts of damage. It used to do a lot more than it now does. His second ability is Terrify, and if you get close to an enemy and actually cast it, they will run away, unless they get killed in the process of running away. Then there is Desecrate. It's now a toggle ability, and it will do exactly that. You can see health orbs just suddenly appearing. Health orbs will not spawn all the time anymore. They did change this, so there's a lower chance that health will actually come out. But any enemy who has just died will basically be able to be desecrated. And it's great the way it works now with it being a toggle, because you can run around and actually be part of the game. Then there's his Uber, if you will, Shadows of the Dead, which will summon enemies that you've just killed back to life to fight on your side. This is supposedly up to 7. I'm not sure how to get more of that, and the augment for that is amazing. It kind of links them all to you and they take damage. But you see they're taking damage. You can top up their health by recasting at any time. This will also teleport any that have wandered off to you. So on this mission, as an example, when this drops again, because it's already dropped once, I can use it again and draw all my shadows downstairs with me. Unlike normal Necros, the parts aren't formed from a boss, they are formed from relics. The blueprint is an Axi N3, the Neuroptics is Meso F1, the chassis can come from 2 different ones, either the Lith N1 or the Axi G1, and the systems is a Neo N3, which means there's a lot more farming involved over normal Necros, because normal Necros is Lephantis and you do them, if you're lucky, 3 times, and then you can build your Warframe. This one you have to do missions to get the relics, then you have to do missions to try and get the parts, which, if you're extremely lucky, will still take you more than 4 times, because there's 4 different parts. But all of this extra farming does turn out to be worth it. Not only does he look better than Necros, he has something like 60 more shields. So once you rank 30, it's 450 shields, 300 health, Still has 65 armor, no matter what level he's at. 187.5 power. I don't know why the 0.5, but whatever. It's rank 30. And his sprint speed is also slightly higher at 1.1. So, you know, the extra 60 shields, once you put a shield mod in there, does make him a lot better than normal Necros. That, with the changes, also means he's a more viable frame while running Desecrate for farming resources, which is ridiculously handy for yourself as well as other people. The extra polarity he comes with means you don't have to add as many former in. But when it comes to how to set him up, this is where things can get really kind of complicated, because Soul Punch uses power strength, power range, power efficiency obviously works for all abilities. Terrify, same thing, power strength. Power duration depends on how long they run away for. But of course, power strength and power range work on that as well. Desecrate, it's one of those common beliefs that power strength will determine the percentage of things you get from it. This is not true. Power strength does not affect Desecrate. Power range and power efficiency does. And of course, if you put the Despoil augment in there, it will transfer the usage of energy from energy to health. So you'll use health every time he desecrates instead of energy, leaving your energy for things like Shadow of the Dead. Shadow of the Dead, on the other hand, uses power strength for... it was something to do with how much health the shadows actually have and how much damage they deal. It's also affected by power duration. Not sure how. I think that's got something to do with the drain per second on them, but is not affected by power range. Hence, building these can be a real pain in the butt. But everything I can find says that Shadows of the Dead is supposed to be more zombified enemies that you bring back to life, and I just don't see it. I don't see a visual difference between Necros Prime shadows and Necros' shadows. But that could just be down to the colour I'm using. All the extra farming that's involved to get a hold of Necros Prime over Necros is definitely worth it though, because with the changes he's much more playable now. But with the Prime version then coming out, he is incredibly playable now because he runs faster, he can last longer, he's got more shields, he's got more armor. That's what I mean by he can last longer. He's just a better frame than he's ever been. Necros is one of those frames I only ever used on certain missions when trying to farm certain resources, and because I haven't had to do that for a while because I've been playing for that long, I haven't used Necros in way too long, and his Prime version has actually drawn me back in. I just wish that just for a change, that Sandana from his Prime access was built into him.